Hey there, Stampin' friends. Welcome to Movie Monday with Jody Breckbill, Stampin' Queen. I'm so glad you guys are here to join me today. I wanted to share today's project, which is this super adorable little box. We made this in my stamp club, and I always share my videos so that folks who didn't make it are able to see what we created and get some ideas. Now, I had this in mind with Father's Day. When you guys are catching this video, Father's Day has come and gone, but don't let that deter you from making this super cute little treat box, or it'll hold little note cards. It would hold a tie. It'll hold packs of candy, all kinds of good stuff. So this is a direct case from Angie Judah. I think she did that on her Facebook Live. If you don't follow her, she's Chicken Scratch. She is awesome with these little treat boxes. I just love everything she does. So I wanted to show you how to create this box at home using the Sailing Home stamp set. So we're going to start off with a piece of Sahara sand, and we need our Simply Scored tool. So we are going to, did I say it's 11 by 7? I don't remember if I said that. If I didn't, it's 11 by 7. So we're going to start off with the 11-inch side at the top, and we're going to score 1.5, 5 1/4, 6 3/4, and 10 1/2. Okay, then we're going to do a quarter turn, and we're going to score at 3/4, 1.5, and 5.5. And that, my friends, is all we need. Let me get this out of the way. So now what I like to do, and I've said many times, is I like to just burnish these folds. Just really get them moving in the direction you want them. It just really helps get your box kind of going in that direction. I also make sure that I'm using a heavy-duty adhesive when I'm doing these 3D projects, because the last thing that I want is for them to fall apart. So now we need to do a little bit of cutting. And on the bottom, okay, so this is going to be the top that's got these double lines across. The bottom just has that single line. We need to just free up these little flaps. So I'm just going to cut them up to that line, that score line. And of course, my nose starts running. That is how it goes. And then this little guy here gets gone. He is going to get wiped right out of here. We don't need you. Goodbye. All right, so there we go. And that's going to be the bottom. So you can start to see how that's going to kind of come together. Now for the top, there's a little tiny rectangle over here. He's going to get gone too. Get him out of here. Don't want ya. Don't need ya. Okay. Then you're going to free up that middle square. We're going to come back to you in a minute, sir. And then the last square, he's gone too. All right, I'm just being careful because this is the top of my box. So now I'm just going to fold these two down, and he's going to go. You are out. All right, it's easier said than done. Okay, there we go. I must have ink on my finger because I see a little tiny smudge there. All right, so this is going to be the top. Our box is going to come together like so. And then this is just the little panel that's going to meet there and hold it together. So I want to take my corner rounder, which is in our triple punch, and I'm just going to round the corners of these. Now you might have to kind of fold some pieces back to get them in there. Now if you have this triple punch, just remember you punch straight up and down. You don't angle to the punch that you want. You still go straight up and down. It gives you the best look here. All right, work with me, friend. All right, get that in there using the guides. And we're just going to round all 4 edges. Now I'm going to kind of do a similar thing that I did on one of my last videos. So I'm not going to actually put this together because one of you is going to get it. So I will put the tape on so you know where it's going to go, but I'm going to keep it flat so that you guys can leave a comment in my videos, and then I'll give it away because these are always extras that I'm making. So I'm going to put tape here. So that's going to come around here and glue just like that, okay? And then these panels will fold in and create the bottom. So I am going to put on the inside, I'm going to do a couple pieces of tear and tape as well. So if you're the lucky winner, all you have to do is peel this off and your gorgeous box is going to go together just perfectly. We'll go ahead and decorate it as well, so it'll be ready to fill with some treats and use. All right, here. Okay, so there we go. There's where we're, where we're putting our adhesive. Oh my goodness, my nose, I mean, it's like dripping. It must be because when I do these videos, I'm leaning over, so gravity just takes effect. All right, so now I like to figure out, this is just me being anal, but I like to figure out what is considered the back of my box. I would consider this one the back because that's where that flap is, and I don't want to see that when I look at the front of my box. So then this is going to be what I would call the front. So I'm going to take a piece of the Sailing Away, and I don't know that that's the right name, but that's what I'm calling it, Designer Series paper. You could use, well, no, it won't work. I use the stripes. I was going to say we could totally use the lighthouses, but they're going the wrong way. They say this is the front, yes. So I'm just going to put that on my front panel. And then I need to do a little bit of stamping. So I normally stamp and die cut off camera because who wants to watch me run a big shot? But we have new dies, and I did want to share those with you just so you can kind of see how they look. And so I've got my lighthouse. Am I on camera? I tend to fall off. I've got my lighthouse, and then of course I've got my sentiment. This is from the same stamp set in Night of Navy. And all right, let me get this out of here so I have room to bring Mr. Big in. All right, Mr. Big, how you doing? I'm running out of room for you. My table is not real big that I work with here. Okay, so let's pull you on camera here. I'm gonna lay my white piece down, and these are the new dies. Now, on first look, you're gonna say, I don't see any difference, Jody Breckbill. I don't know what you're talking about. They look like the same dies. They are a little bit thicker. Not what do I want to say, thicker. They're thinner but they're thicker width-wise. So depending on the machine you have, you may need to add a shim to get them to die cut correctly, and that's okay. We do have a new machine coming. We just don't know when it is. And so if you've got a Big Shot, a Big Kick, a Cuddle Bug, whatever you've got, keep using it. You may just need to do a little extra, and that's just fine. I mean, rather than spending the money on a new machine, we're gonna work with what we have. I mean, my Mr. Bigs, I'm gonna use them till they die. I'm not buying a new machine until, I don't want to say bad things, Mr. Big, but you know, there's going to be a day, 2 or 3 of you have already died in my lifetime of stamping, so you ain't the first one I had. So now we're going to lay our die on here, and as you can see, it comes right up to that stamp. Okay, so there, you're still going to have some white border. It's fine, but it makes lining them up so much easier because you don't have to kind of guess where you need to be to get an even border around it. So on the inside, you'll see that there is a tiny little lip here, and then we have our die, then we have our part that actually does the cut. I feel like I'm rambling, and I feel like maybe I've lost you, but I did want to show you how easy they are to use because they line right up against your stamp. And I'm finding with those real detailed dies that we sometimes had to like work like hell to get, work like heck to get them out of the die. They may be stuck in your die, but a little poke and the whole thing falls out. It's not like they're holding them in. They're releasing them so much easier. And I am super jazzed about that. So excited, in fact, that I said a swear word on my video. All right, Mr. Big, you can get out of here. So we've got our sentiment now. We've got our lighthouse. And then I did go ahead and out of silver foil, we cut out the steering wheel. So that's the one, we've had this talk before, right? The is a steering wheel on a ship. Okay. Yes, it's going to be. So this is one of the little more detailed dies. And when I pull it, when I die cut it, it comes out and it's still stuck in there. One little poke and it just drops out. It's just, I am thrilled with that part. So thanks, Stampin' Up. Okay, let's go on here. I've taken enough of your time babbling on, and now I've moved everything. Okay, here we go. Back on track, Breckbill. Let's go. Here is our sentiment. And I'm just going to, anywhere is fine. No big deal. I've got my lighthouse. I want to definitely do dimensionals on you. Now, I'm pretty sure, now that I'm looking at this, I think I'm going to have it overlap just a smidge on there. I'm pretty sure I used a glue dot when I put this guy on, but I don't have any right with me, so we're just going to use some snail. I only did half the side that is going to attach onto my lighthouse, and you could take one of those little mini dimensionals and just stick that right underneath there. So now, in order to get the box to stay together, remember I'm giving this away, so pretend that it is put together. I just pinched the top a little bit and just put a staple in there. Okay, so that just is going to hold it together just fine. A little staple in there. And then I took 2 strands of our Sahara Sand and Night of Navy baker's twine that coordinates with this suite, tied myself a bow, and in the process I slid an anchor onto it. Okay, so when you're, like I said, I'm not going to do that, but just slide on one of those, slide the anchor on, tie your little bow, and out you will come with this awesome, super cute little box. Now, what you could do instead of a staple is you could maybe do a little Velcro dot, so then you could just open it and close it and refill it. Also, make sure before you put it together, you put your item down inside before you staple it shut. So a little Velcro dot would be perfect, and then you won't really ruin your box when you go to open it. So, okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Shut up. All right, I'm giving this away, so make sure you leave a comment for me in my YouTube or on my Facebook is just fine, and this one could be yours. So thanks so much for hanging in there with me. You guys have a wonderful week, and I will catch you next week for Movie Monday.